560. The Answer.
So during the tease of my next guest, I said he was running for Congress. Maybe that was a Freudian slip. Maybe I just want him to run for Congress. He's not. He's running for the Illinois House District 17. But when you look at his credentials and you realize that something that can change the trajectory of our nation is somebody like this. So maybe he can have an impact in the super minority among Republicans in Illinois. The wonderful thing is that he's putting his name in the ring and he's willing to try. He is Jim Gelderman, Republican candidate for state rep of the 17th district. He's also the president of a company. We're going to talk about that and much, much more. Jim, thank you for joining me. How are you?
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I love it. I love the fact that you're doing this because, judging by your resume, you don't have to do this. You could have packed up and got out and realized what you were facing. But I like the fact that you're trying to change it. I'm wondering if you think the message of fiscal responsibility, the principles of Americanism, are going to register with so many people who have fallen prey to the promises and the ideology of collectivism.
So I think one of the big problems, Sean, is that it's this idea that we can manage the government better than the Democrats. And the silk stocking country club attitude has just brought us losses, through the years. What we really need to do, and COVID was a good example of this, is we need our campaign is calling our neighbors out to come up out of their houses, knock on their neighbor's door, and be in communion, be in ministry, be in fellowship with them, so that we can start taking back the responsibility. We've abdicated, all this responsibility to, the so-called experts that have overpromised and not delivered anything to us. And so I think it's important that, that people get out of their houses again, start knocking on doors, asking how you're doing, and start ministering to each other.
Well, it's interesting because your resume, you're somebody who can show that through your expertise, you own a corporation that is a software and development company providing business-to-business solutions. But above all, you also have an experience in everything from financial services to helping people, because you're also a board member of First Step House, a halfway house for recovering alcoholics. So what's the right way to go about it? Because to me, I'm going to just tell you my thing when I look at it. People prefer the beautiful lie than the ugly truth. The beautiful lie has taken down nations. The beautiful lie of a utopian world where everybody's safe and everybody's wonderful and everybody lives in prosperity. But the reality is it doesn't work. So how do you bring that message of reality through fiscal responsibility and what people need to hear, that the schemes don't work, and somehow marry that to the idea that we're going to do it through fellowship and friendship? How do you do that?
Well, the first thing is people have to realize that life is not a buzz. So we're not out there, the Democrats keep promising and the autocrats keep promising that, you'll be able to live a life of isolation and have this nice buzz and you won't have to worry about anything. Life is messy, and it's up to us to go out to hear the message from people and to really experience and stop thinking about, how I can go back into my closet, and hide in my blankets. It's really, knock on people's doors, asking them, share your desperation with me. Show me that what your struggle is, and let me share it. I'm not going to solve your problem for you, but if you share it with me, I'll help you. I'll carry you along with it.
Were you surprised the way I was, Jim, that how many Illinoisans, particularly, growing up in the neighborhoods, you think everybody's proud, they love the freedom, and they want to, not be told what to do. Were you surprised at the amount of Illinoisans that were willing to be told, not only be told what to do, but right now that we know all of it was made up by the government? They made it all up, from the mask to the 6 feet to the rest of it. Are you surprised at how many Illinoisans are not mad?
Yeah, frankly, I'm shocked about it. And the fact that they do get mad when you point out the fact that all the experts were wrong. And even their excuses today are so lame that you wonder why, you're going to give them a second chance. It's like, how many times are you going to loan this guy money before you figure out he's not going to pay you back?
See, but that's what you bring to the table because you're in the real world, right? And you stayed up at night, even though people think, oh, he's loaded. And you've been stressed about the bills of your business, about how to pay your workers' comp, and all the rest of it. And don't you think that maybe people don't want to have those fears because it's within those fears that you really build the character and the appreciation of a system? And that's not what's selling. That's my problem, too, with a lot of Illinoisans. They don't have that the way we were taught to have that 5 decades ago. Are you concerned with the new generation just wanting to have their student loans paid off and wanting the mystical, magical life of entitlement and ignorance?
Well, it goes back to this buzz society. It starts with this idea that you can indulge in pot or booze or whatever whatever dystopia or whatever
whatever way you want to sell yourself, that it's going to be delivered to your front door without doing anything.
Right, and so people in ministry, if you go to these really powerful parishes and synagogues in Illinois, you find out it's not the pastors or the rabbis or other people who are making the difference. It's the people in the pews that are making the difference, because they're going out, they're ministering to people, saying, whether it's needy family fund or going and taking communion to people, or going to hospice and sitting in vigil as a person takes their last breath. It's these experiences. When you go to these people have a strong ministry that they're sharing with you. And so I tell people all the time that you're doing good service work when it's annoying and it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something because it makes you feel good, you're not doing service. You're just sitting there, there, but for the greater honor and glory of I.
I think your timing is right to a certain extent, because it's within chaos and collapse that there's always opportunity. I have to confess to you, I'm ignorant to the 17th district. There might be some people out there listening that are ignorant to it as well. Well, what is the 17th district, and where should people be looking for you? Because, it's really right around the corner, right, the election?
Right. Well, it's in November, and the 17th district is 5 townships, so a little bit of Maine. It's mostly Northfield Township and Niles Township, and then there's a little New Trier and a little Evanston. So it's basically a little Northbrook, a little Glenview, Olive Gulf, a little Park Ridge, a lot of Skokie, a lot of Niles, and a little Wilmette, and a little Evanston. So
is it a Democrat now?
Oh yeah, Jennifer Gahn Gershowitz.
Okay. And what are some of the stances that are of topics? Because in those towns you're mentioning, I'm guesstimating that it's a little opposition than the way I think. But what are some of the topics that you think you can maybe resonate with some of those listeners or those people out there that are looking for solutions? You think there are people that are embarrassed by the move to support Hamas right now, and the way in which that Illinois and Chicago has these pretend votes when it's more of a national issue, and they should maybe focus on the collapsing quality of life in these areas?
So we're kind of flipping the script in our campaign. Instead of going out and talking about me, what I'm looking for is, like the Avoca people are in my district. And there's a big life movement in our district. There's also taxes, school choice. There are a lot of people upset about the Investing Kids Act going down. So what we're doing is we're working with these coalitions using the infrastructure of our campaign, all the data sets that we have, the apps that we have for walking and door knocking, and supporting them to go out and build their coalition. So instead of trying to form a message that, because really you can only have 5 bullet points,
Yeah.
but is to go out and support these people, get them to go door knocking. I mean, we're going to have a big push into the low-income neighborhoods in the district because one of our parishes, St. Catherine Labouré, lost 40 scholarships. Loyola
Wow.
Academy lost over 100 scholarships. So, and a lot of the conservative Jewish schools lost a lot of scholarships. So that's one big unifying thing. The other thing is, on that card I sent you, we're fighting these big lobbies, the big crime lobby that wants to make, the streets safe for criminals. The DEI lobby, that's anti-Semitic, racist, and misogynist. We want to hold her accountable for her support of BLM and the support BLM gave them, especially, after October 7th, because, we can't let the Democrats off the hook that, their anti-Semitic stances and especially their stances towards genocide.
It's insanity. I mean, I was going to say, is your slogan "Make Illinois Sane Again"? Do you have a Gitchy slogan?
My slogan is, I'm a citizen of Illinois, not a subject of the Democrat Party.
Oh, I love it. I'm
calling everybody to start taking their responsibility of citizenship seriously. And the problems are not as large as the autocrats want you to think. The problem, and I can tell you this from years of service and working with people who are actively dying to people who have drug and alcohol addictions, that these things are solved one-on-one. They are not solved by a program. They are not solved by, throwing money at it. It's only solved by one person caring for another person.
Jim, it would be a ray of hope for myself, who still has some interest in Illinois, but more importantly, the people who have all their interest in Illinois. Jim Gelderman, where can the people go to keep an eye on you and help you and support you in this?
My website is Jim4HD17.com. So JIM4HD17.com.
I really wish you the best of luck. It would be a bright spot in another abysmal season where not many people have choices of bright spots. Thank you for making time for me, and thank you for the effort you're putting forward, because I know you don't have to, and I love the fact that you do. Thank you very much, Jim Gelderman, for joining me.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time.
Anytime, it's an open door for you. All right, let me know.